Hello again, friends. It's Jamar Doyle, President and CEO of CHHSM, and I'm so glad to be joined by Vice President George Graham, Reverend George Graham, who this is a bittersweet moment, as many of you know. He's just recently accepted the call to pastor Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Cleveland, Ohio. He has been a longtime friend and laborer for CHHSM, and I just wanted to make sure that we had this time to just hear from him what CHHSM has meant and his excitement about this new upcoming season, and just get to hear from George what CHHSM has meant over these past 5 years. So George, just welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's really good to be here, but the moment's bittersweet for me as well. So I've enjoyed the time with CHHSM, but I'm called into something new.
And so maybe that's the first kind of question, just maybe lean into, I know how much love and passion you have for CHHSM, so I imagine it took a special connection and call to kind of pull you away. So maybe just tell us a little bit about Pilgrim UCC, this next season you're moving into, and why this particular setting is so meaningful to you.
Well, it's a setting that I know really well. So I was a member there from 2001 until 2011, along with my husband. And during the course of our membership there, both of our kids arrived in our family. I was ordained there in 2003, and both the kids were baptized there as well. So it's a really special place to me, and a place that I know well. I served on trustees and as treasurer while I was there, and did some preaching as needed and some other things. So as I said, I know the congregation well, and there's a real sense in which it's a homecoming for me on a whole bunch of levels. I've felt a call to pastoral ministry my whole career and just haven't had a chance to respond to that call in a full-time way. And this gives me that opportunity in a place that I really love.
That's beautiful. And it makes me, as you're transitioning away, at least from CHHSM, knowing that it is for something that is so deeply meaningful to you, and that it really is a homecoming. And I understand myself how important that is when you have that connection to a particular community of faith, and also hearing that you're able to now sort of be in that setting and have that pastoral ministry experience that has been laid on your heart for so long. So yes, bittersweet, but it's under, I am so happy that you have this moment to be able to step into this role that's meaningful to you. But maybe
I appreciate your support in making that transition. It's it's something that I had thought about for a while, and just decided now was the time to make the leap.
And maybe, before we sort of talk about what's next at Pilgrim, can you talk a little bit about sort of your time at CHHSM? I know, obviously it predates me, and you've been at CHHSM in the vice president role for 5 years, and I know have worked in different ministry settings within the UCC longer than that. So maybe just talk a little bit about, just sort of your path to CHHSM, and what perhaps made that time also special.
Yeah. So I've worked at CHHSM for 5 years, but I've known about CHHSM for more than 20. I joined the national staff of the UCC in 2000 after serving in the United Methodist Church national setting for 10 years. And the first position I had with the UCC was with Pilgrim Press, and we were on the same floor at 700 Prospect as CHHSM. And so I got to know the CHHSM folks really well, and something about the ministry there. So I feel like I've known the staff over, well, it's several decades, really, including Mike Reedinger. We overlapped a bit in the national setting when he started at CHHSM. So I left the national setting in 2007 after working for Pilgrim Press and then in financial development for 5 years. When our second child arrived, and I decided I needed to get off the road when we had 2 preschoolers at home. And so I worked in local nonprofits here in Cleveland, but I really miss the faith-based setting. I loved health and human services, but I liked the faith-based lens. And so I was thrilled 5 years ago when I was able to put the health and human service ministry experience together with the faith-based piece and combine them in a new way at CHHSM. And I feel like my role as vice president has let me do a little bit of everything. Some administration and finance for sure, a big part of that, but also some exciting programs and working on our annual gathering and supporting folks through the pandemic, through COVID-19. Those are things that were really important to me the past 5 years.
Amen. Amen. And you know, you guys saw me laugh there because I can testify when George says he got to do a little of everything. It really wasn't a little, it's quite a lot. So definitely big shoes to fill, but you know, just the knowledge base and the connections that you have both to the UCC and to all of our members has just been so valuable. And you know, that's coupled with just a genuine heart and a compassion that comes through in everything that you do. So, you know, big shoes to fill in terms of the knowledge and skill base, but also just the compassion and sort of that desire to really exemplify servant leadership. And I know that, you know, our whole CHHSM family appreciates and loves what you've been able to provide to us over the past 5 years. And, you know, I'm wondering sort of the next question that leads into that is maybe there's something from your time at CHHSM that will carry you forward into your new ministry setting at Pilgrim. And if so, what maybe are some of those memories or connections that will stay with you?
Well, I think some of the memories from annual gathering and some of the association that we've had with national leaders, officers of the UCC and elsewhere. I'll never forget the panel that we had with Bernice Powell-Jackson, Linda Jaramillo, Loie Powell, and Reverend Dr. Yvonne Delk was not able to join us then, but she joined us online the next year to hear people with those experiences and presence speak was incredibly moving. I guess the other thing that I'd say, though, is just the inspiration that I received from member ministries. And I've said it many times, but what amazed me during the pandemic was that at a time when people were trying to keep their distance and stay away, CHHSM member ministries were leaning in to their missions even more deeply and responding to the crisis. And that makes perfect sense because that's part of their DNA, because most of the CHHSM member organizations were founded in times of crisis in order to respond to need. So I hope to take that kind of responsiveness with me to Pilgrim. And I know Pilgrim has a very long history of responding. But I think the connection between CHHSM and local churches, congregations is really important. And I want to continue to work on that connection, maybe from the other side now, from the congregational side.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, because then it means we can come knocking at Pilgrim to work with you more on some of the outreach programs. And, you know, certainly you've shared the long history of service that the Pilgrim congregation and community has in the near west side of Cleveland. So I know that I'm sure is something that you're looking forward to. And is there anything else that, you know, as you are moving into this new season, like what excites you, or what are you looking forward to as you start this new journey at Pilgrim at the beginning of the year?
Well, for me, it's very meaningful to move through the liturgical calendar with a congregation. I won't be there for Advent, but I will be there for Epiphany. And I look forward to moving through the year. And urban ministry has always been really important to me. And so I look forward to rolling up my sleeves and working with the folks at Pilgrim in the Tremont neighborhood and greater Cleveland at large. Those are some of the things I look forward to. And who knows, maybe at some point we'll be knocking on Chisholm's door if we are able to start a ministry that might become a Chisholm member down the road.
Well, that door is always open, as you know, my friend. So please, you won't even have to knock. Just come busting right on in. And, you know, we'd love to continue to obviously work with you and work with Pilgrim and, you know, really connect more with some of the local churches, specifically in the Cleveland area where Chisholm's offices are. So, you know, I think before we part, is there anything else that you want to, you know, leave us with or share with your Chisholm, you know, friends and family that will be watching this video as you depart from us, but not from our heart?
Well, I would just say, keep on doing the work. Find a way to keep yourself nourished and fed and connected with other people in order to be able to do the work. Because as we all know, especially after the last several years, it's a long haul. And the work that you all do on behalf of the church is inspiring to me. And I hope that together we can find ways not only to continue the work, but also to amplify the message that we want to support and empower people and bring about liberation and a world that's caring and compassionate and where there's justice for all.
Thank you so much. My friends, this was Reverend George Graham, soon to be, unfortunately, former vice president of Chisholm, but who is moving into a meaningful and impactful role here in Cleveland as the new pastor of Pilgrim UCC. George, you will certainly be missed, but as we said earlier, the door is always open for future collaborations, and it's not the end. It's just our relationship is transitioning into a new setting. So blessings to you as you move into this new role at Pilgrim. And of course, you will always, always, always have a home at Chisholm. And I just want to say that I have, in this past year and a half that I've been at Chisholm, I have just so appreciated your graceful leadership and your embodiment of servant leadership. And we'll just miss being able to call you and lean on you. But you're still in Cleveland, so I've got your number and I know where you live.
Thanks, Jamar, for your support, and wish you and the board and staff and all who belong to Chisholm all the best in future endeavors.
Thank you, my friend. And friends, this has been Mission Moment. I am so grateful that I've been able to spend this time with my friend and colleague, George Graham, as he prepares to head into this new season of ministry at Pilgrim. If you would like to continue to get more ministry moments, please make sure that at the end of this video, you scan the QR code so that you can sign up for our Diachrony newsletter, and be sure not to miss an episode. We have exciting conversations with not only Chisholm staff, but also Chisholm organizations and other important partners. So please make sure you join our Diachrony newsletter. Also sign up for our YouTube page and other social media outlets. With that, I will say a fond farewell, but we will meet again in a new capacity. Thank you so much, Reverend Graham. Thank you, George. Take care, everyone, and be blessed.